Hey everybody, welcome to Off the Shelf Board Game Reviews. This week we're looking at Kemet Blood and Sand. This is an area-controlled, dudes on the map war-style game for 2 to 5 players that plays in about an hour and a half to maybe 2 hours with lots of asymmetric powers and lots of great player abilities and lots of variety and very little randomness. Now in this video itself, I'm going to give you a quick overview of the game, but if you want to see a tutorial video, see a review, or actually see some sample gameplay, check out the other videos in the series. Come on back after the break for a quick overview of Kemet Blood and Sand. Kemet Blood and Sand is a fantastical Egyptian-themed dudes on the map war game for 2 to 5 players, where the players are going to compete to take over the Nile and all of Egypt. Well, actually, yours work to be the first person to start your turn with 9 victory points. Whoever does so is going to be the grand winner of the game. Now, on a player's turn, players are going to take turns doing various actions such as buying extra powers, which are going to make the game much more asymmetric, as players are going to modify their empire, gaining extra powers, such as the ability to summon great ancient wonders such as war elephants, phoenixes, or giant beetles. Or players are going to pray to get extra power. Power is going to allow them to do things such as summoning more units, allow them to play divine intervention cards, and do other things that are going to make their empire even more powerful, such as buying those power cards already mentioned earlier. Or they can go out there and move across the board, or they can even build up their pyramid, and building up their pyramid is going to allow them to gain access to extra powers. It's going to allow them to gain victory points. And one of the things about this game that's unique to this game versus other games is there's the concept of permanent victory points and temporary victory points. In this game, you can gain temporary victory points by controlling a level 4 pyramid. While that may be great if you control the pyramid in your empire, if another player happens to move in and take your pyramid, they're also going to steal your victory point. You can also gain victory points by temporarily controlling these temples. As long as you control that temple, you control that victory point. But again, if an opponent moves in, takes that temple away from you, again, they're going to steal that victory point away from you. So the game has a very fluid feel to it. Fortunately, there's also a way to gain permanent victory points. Permanent victory points can be gained by winning battles, and permanent victory points can also be gained by gaining the divine favor of the gods. Whether it's going to the divine all-sanctuary temple of the gods and sacrificing your units directly to the gods themselves, or gaining certain power tiles that again are going to give you some of these permanent victory points. The nice thing about these permanent victory points is no player can take them away from you. And again, if you start your turn with 9 victory points, you are going to be the grand winner of the game of Kemet. Now the game has a very nice flow and some very cool things that make this game very unique versus other games in this style. First of all, the game is meant to be played very, very aggressively. The game rewards aggression. Heck, I've already mentioned it, the only way to get some permanent victory points is by attacking other players. Fail to do so and you're throwing away potential victory points and throwing them down the drain. Additionally, this game does not have random combat. Combat is a mind game between players because every single player is going to have a hand of cards. And this hand of 8 cards is only going to refresh once you go through all your combat cards, and all these different combat cards at different various levels of attack power, defense power, and ways to score kills. And basically you're going to take the total power of all your units in the battle, compare that to the other player, plus the power of your card you play, plus any other special powers your empire has. Whoever plays the total greater strength is going to be the winner of the battle and gain those victory points. The loser may possibly lose units, may have to retreat, or may be totally obliterated or moved from that section of the board. Again, it all depends on the cards played and the different ways you're going against your opponents. The game also has a very nice action and economy to it because there are some powers that allow you to gain more extra actions. But the trick here is everybody must spend all their actions at the same time. So your bonus actions must be used with your standard actions. So rounds are going to go very, very quick in this game. Every single player basically gets 5 actions. Of course, if you got some extra power tiles, one of your 5 actions may be a double action turn, but again, that's going to require you to buy those extra power tiles that are going to make your empire more powerful. The game of Kemet is an extremely asymmetric game that plays differently every time you play the game, rewards aggression, and it's a game that's very enjoyable every single time you play it because it's different strategies, different tactics, plays all the way from 2 to 5 players, and there's so much replay variety just the way you're going to play the game, gain the powers, different setups for the game, and all these things that go together create this wonderful game of Kemet. Now, if you want to learn how to play the game of Kemet, you can check out my tutorial video where I'll teach you actually how to play the game, or you can check out a sample gameplay where I'm going to play an entire game of Kemet from beginning to end. I'm going to play a 3-player game. Now, the idea of that 3-player game is not to show you deep strategy. The whole point of the video is to show you how the game plays so you can see if this is a game you're going to enjoy. Also, you can check out my full review where I'm going to show you my opinion of the game of Kemet. And not only that, I'm actually going to film a 5th video where I'm going to compare Kemet Blood and Sand, which is effectively the 2nd edition of the game, with the 1st edition of the game, so you can decide, if you're a prior owner of Kemet, if this is a game you want to upgrade to. Now, if you have any comments or questions, make sure you leave them down in the YouTube comments down below. I'll get to them as quickly as I can. You can also feel free to email me off-the-shelf board game reviews. That's otsbgr@gmail.com. I'll be sure to answer your emails as quickly as I can. If you enjoy this channel, if you enjoy the content, and I've helped you spend your gaming dollars wisely, think about tossing $1 over in the tip jar over at Patreon at patreon.com/otsbgr. This channel is 100% self-funded. I don't do gimmicks, I don't do Kickstarters or anything like that. I basically run this channel on the honor system. If I helped you save a little money or spend your gaming dollars a little bit better, think about tossing $1 over the tip jar over on Patreon. If you enjoy this video, if you enjoy this video series, click that like button, click that subscribe button. As always, thanks for watching.